There's a guy up in New England that might.
Oh, man, I know.
Hey, this is not good.
No, at all.
So if you did not see this weekend,
Jack Jones,
corner for the New England Patriots, a man who took back a pick-6 against Aaron Rodgers this past season. Incredible talent. He's on the New England Patriots defense, very young, playing meaningful minutes. Bill Belichick believes in his ability. That means we should believe in his ability. He is an absolute dog on the football field this past weekend. He got arrested at Logan International, which is Boston's, I believe, for attempting to bring 2 firearms on plane. 2 of them loaded, 10 bullets in each magazine. I believe that is another part of the law in the entire thing. Massachusetts carries a 2.5 to 20-year mandatory sentence if found guilty or with public without a license, and especially at the airport or whatever, unchecked. Now, there's people that take bags, grab them, quick, boom, run to the airport. My fear used to be, especially now with how it's legal in some states, not legal in other states, is I'm going to have in a side pocket somewhere, I'm going to have a bunch of edibles in there that I just stuffed in while I was in Colorado. And as soon as you put it onto the conveyor belt and it starts rolling, it gets out of reach, you immediately go, oh no, I got weed in there.
Oh my God.
Happened to me in England coming back from the international game against the Jacksonville Jaguars when I found out very late into the bus ride from the stadium to the airport there called Heathrow International that we were flying commercial and not charter. That means we were going through their TSA. We were going through the entire thing. So the story's been documented. I had like 15, 20 edibles because I had a bunch of things for everybody. There was a cop sitting up in the front by the garbage can of the bus. So I was kind of in a bad spot. So literally, as soon as I put the thing up on a conveyor belt, I have a few 100 milligrams rolling through my body. Obviously, we just lost the Jacksonville Jaguars. I put the thing up on there. It starts going. I immediately go, oh no, there's a whole nother batch potentially in another little side thing. This is about to be international now, right? This is an international thing I've seen locked up abroad, which is almost all drug smuggling things. They go through there, they pull my bag. They pull my, oh no, I'm going to jail. I'm starting to trip balls too. I'm in a few 100 milligrams. Obviously that's gonna happen. So Vinatieri, I'm like, yo, this might be real bad. And Vinny watched me eat all of those things at the same exact time. So he's kind of riding a wave with me. He's out there at sea level. I am obviously much, 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 much higher for this entire thing. They pull my bag. Oh no. Vinny, I think, even starts to get worried, but cool, Vinny, clutchest guy of all time. Of course. He's like, we're all right, buddy, we're all right, buddy. We go over there. Turns out it was just some toothpaste thing going on with it, whatever. They pull that. They throw it away. Big laughs. Zipper that thing up. We're going to our gate. At that moment, I could have been fucking arrested for, you know, like international smuggling, so many different things. Think of the headlines that could have been. So, like, that does happen, I think, where people forget that they have something in their bag. 2 guns. Is a tough thing to forget that you have in your bag, strictly because how heavy it would fucking be. And also, you're going to bump into that accidentally whenever you're putting something in there. So this is going to be a tough one for him to explain. In the worst state, no, one of the worst, top 5, I guess.
Yeah, one of the worst.
Top 5 worst states to have this happen for. And this guy's career is probably fucked because of this. And I am incredibly bummed that the NFL is potentially going to lose out on a talent like this guy.
Yeah, it's super sad. Like, as a Patriots fan, obviously you want him to be on the field, especially when up until this point, everyone was talking about, you know, Christian Gonzalez, the first-round pick we had, paired with Jack Jones. We would have a pretty elite secondary, and he already was one of, if not the best player in our secondary last year. But then the other fact of it is what you're saying, too, which is kind of where I went, is that he's a 25-year-old kid. He hasn't really hit even his full potential, and he's already so good at football, and now this happens. I think he had a $30,000 bond, so he's out. But he has to, you know, obviously go to court this week, so we probably will hear more of the legal side of it. And the Patriots, you know, they released a statement, but they're still waiting to gather more information. But all signs are pointing to it just being very, very bad. And unfortunately, this tweet was also kind of making its rounds, and people were making their jokes, but it really just is a terrible situation for Jack Jones.
Yeah, Jack Jones tweeted to Ja, like, hey, it's dumb to be flashing your guns. Social media is like ruining you, get your money and everything like that. You the breadwinner, you got to start acting like that. And I believe because we didn't know that Jack Jones was potentially walking around with 2 guns, he was sticking to his words.
Yeah.
Right? I think we do know that. Now, with that being said, sounds like he was talking to Ja as somebody like, hey, I understand what you're going through. There's a reason he has 2 guns on him. Okay, that's also another full conversation. Why he thinks he has to have it, who he thinks, where he's from. Is this just natural for him? We can get into all those conversations, but what we do know is going to be tough to say you forgot it was in your bag whenever there's two of them fully strapped. This is going to be a tough case. You just got to hope that, the guns were never used for anything.
Yes.
That's a whole nother. We learned that with Aaron Hernandez.
Right. Exactly.
Another New England Patriot. We got to hope the guns purchased legally. Nothing, no fuckery.
Yeah.
No crimes were done with him. I assume if that was the case, he wouldn't have been able to get out on $30,000 bond.
Right.
But now we just got to hope that there is some sort of, maybe it was a big bag.
Hopefully.
And maybe it was hidden in a compartment that obviously the cops could say, well, he's trying to hide it. And he could say, I didn't know it was still in there. And you get a judge or somebody that's like, hey, this guy's life from where it was to where he is, to what he could potentially be, isn't worth this slip up for being ruined forever. Because 2.5 to 20 years is a lot of fucking time.
So long.
All of a sudden caught up with two guns at an airport with two loaded chambers. I mean, that's like 4 charges there, let alone a licensing thing and everything like that. We don't know the rules over here or the laws other than tweets that we've seen that have kind of laid this whole thing out. We heard this is bad. This is not good. How does he get out of this? And what does this look like for Jack Jones, a great corner for the New England Patriots, who has a pick 6 against the aforementioned Aaron Rodgers last season?
I do not know that he gets out of this. It's not good. And he's an NFL player, and he is a really good player. Really versatile player, good young talent on what should be a really, really good Patriots defense. This is not an NFL issue. There is, and I'm not 100% clear either, but I had someone who I believe should know say that there's a mandatory sentence involved with this.
Yeah, right. I read the same thing. I think like multi-year, right?
I mean, I believe 18 months. Now, I don't know, and I don't know. These are all charges, obviously, and we should say that we do not know. What he did, who did. I mean, there's been plenty of times we've seen the report, and then it comes out later, and it's different.
Like mine, for instance.
Obviously,
that was their story.
There's another one. Frank Clark was caught with a couple guns recently in different situation. I believe it was California, but did not do jail time. But this is trying to bring guns onto a plane. If this is in fact what Jack Jones did, I read all the charges. There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
Now it's possible timing wise, this is pushed a little bit. So the legal system plays out in forever. So it is possible he could play this year, but this is bad, and this is not a football issue.
Here's from Justin Ramos, who's a Patriots reporter. Here are the charges. Possession of a concealed weapon in a secure area of an airport, okay? Possession of ammunition without a firearm identification card, unlawful possession of a firearm, carrying a loaded firearm, and possession of a large capacity feeding device. Jeez Louise. All right, Jack, good luck out there. Let's start being smarter too, okay? Done.
Well, I mean, this is an intelligence test. I mean, I'm sorry, but it really is. There's so many bad things that you just said there.
Yeah.
It's unfathomable.
Pretty alarming. Yeah, and you could make the argument, which I assume he would, is that he didn't know they were in that bag and he grabbed the wrong bag. And we've all been there with edibles where we thought we were potentially going to be in a spot, But 2 guns is going to be tough to explain. Plus a large feeding.
Yeah, that's the kicker, I think.
But that's why we need to find out because if it's just a 12-round normal for the gun versus like the extendo like we talked about earlier.
Yeah, but any of it is not great.
Yeah, no matter what the category it falls.
And 2 of them is going to be tough to say, I didn't know.
Yeah.
But didn't you feel it, hear it? Wasn't it a little heavier?
Yeah.
Or just like, well, you should know.
God, we hope he's okay. We hope it works out. I hope everybody's safe too. I mean, he's carrying 2 guns loaded. Why is he thinking he has to do that? I hope everybody.
That's a good question.
Yeah, go ahead. AJ, your question for Rap.
Ian, you mentioned that we know the legal process could take forever, but the NFL, like Raj, you say it's not an NFL issue, but couldn't Raj step in and he can do whatever he wants technically, but could you see it playing out to where Jones does play this season, then something happens, whatever the case in the trial or whatever they do eventually after the year, and then they work out if he gets suspended or sentenced or whatever happens?
Yeah, I mean, now obviously if he goes to jail, then it's a matter of do the Patriots keep him or not? I mean, that's sort of the football related part of it. Obviously, it's does Roger Goodell step in, put him on the commissioner's exempt list, which he does have the ability to do. He can sort of make the decision that this is one where a player should be set aside. It is not thankfully, a violent crime. It is not there's other this wouldn't necessarily fit in the category of going on the commissioner's exempt list. But he could theoretically decide to do it, or the Patriots could just say, we do not want to see Patriots corner every time they discuss this. We're done. Like, there's a lot of decisions that have to be made here. But yeah, I mean, to go to your point, like, Alvin Kamara was involved in allegedly a very serious violent issue, and he has played during that as he awaits, possible resolution and then likely suspension.
What's going to happen with that, by the way?
I mean, if he is found guilty, or if he pleads guilty, or if they come to some sort of agreement, facing probable suspension.
Okay. I forgot about that.
Multi-game,
Pro Bowl.
suspension.
Yeah, Pro Bowl weekend.
Yeah, to your point, what you just said about Jack being able to play, it's like I completely forgot about Kamara. That's a serious thing.
Oh yeah,
Very.
broke the guy's nose, right, and like his orbital bone or something.
Yeah, but who knows
Allegedly.
what the video? Yeah, allegedly. I mean, there's a lot that could go into it. But